Hey guys, it's me, Vinny Lospinuso. I am back with my penultimate video discussing my predictions on who I believe will win the next round of the NFL playoffs. And here it is. It's Championship Sunday underfoot. I understand everyone is still very confused on whether or not Tom Brady is retiring or maybe he's not retiring or who really knows. It's still up in the air. But either way, whether he's retiring or not, we should not let that over we should not let that cloud our judgment on who we think is going to be winning these upcoming games on Sunday afternoon. Now, let's look at the AFC Championship game. The Kansas City Chiefs, the 2 seed, ended up hosting the 4th straight conference championship game. Now, granted, to be fair, that's also because in 2019 and also this year, the number 1 seeds, the Ravens and the Titans, end up falling to another team, and that resulted them retroactively getting home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. And so this is the 4th year in a row. This is the 2nd time that Andy Reid has had a chance to do this. This is his 9th conference championship appearance as a head coach. And this is also Patrick Mahomes' 4th conference championship game appearance. I mean, there's great players, there's great quarterbacks that haven't even gotten to that number of conference championships, let alone in a row consecutively. And hosting, nonetheless, that's impressive. And this Chiefs team is definitely a modern day dynasty, trying to get to their 3rd straight Super Bowl in a row, trying to get their 3rd Lamar Hunt trophy. And they're up against the young and spry Cincinnati Bengals, who made to the playoffs after missing it since 2015, won their division after allowing, they saw the Ravens go down and they got up a little bit. They actually defeated the Chiefs at home in week 17, the penultimate game of the season in Cincinnati, that resulted them in gaining and getting the AFC North title. They won their first playoff game in 31 years against the Raiders, and then they won again against the Titans on the road, their first ever road playoff victory as a franchise, and taking on a Chiefs team that, after their blowout win against the Steelers, had a game of a lifetime against the Bills, which was ultimately decided on a coin flip. And yeah, you could say defense, but I want to see the overtime rules change. But either way, we have a rematch of a game that happened late in the season, one of the best regular season games of the regular season, one of the best games of the regular season this year. Now this time it's in Kansas City. It's not in Cincinnati like last time. It's in Kansas City, in which the Chiefs have home field advantage. The Chiefs have been in 3 previous conference championship games. They won the last 2 against the Titans and the Bills, and now they're hosting the Bengals here. Bengals, they won 2 very, very physical games against the Raiders and the Titans. And, Burrow got hit a lot. And they were very fortunate that the passing game of the Titans was not really up to par. So even though the Titans did play more physically, the Bengals did end up winning because of the quarterback play mostly. Whereas the Chiefs, it really could have gone either way, Bills and Chiefs, but I saw that divisional round game between the Bills and the Chiefs as whoever wins this game is going to win the AFC Championship game. And as much as I love the Bengals this year, and I think they're an amazing story, I think other than, Mike Vrabel, I absolutely do believe that Zach Taylor deserves Coach of the Year. And I believe that Joe Burrow was a massive snub for the Pro Bowl. And I also believe that Joe Burrow is one of the next young stars in this league, along with a Josh Allen and a Patrick Mahomes and a Justin Herbert and a Lamar Jackson. But, I got to go with the team that's represented the AFC the last 2 years. I got to go with the team with a better coach, the better roster, the better team all around. And as great as the Bengals have been this year, especially down the stretch and especially in these playoff games, I got to go with the home team here. I see the Kansas City Chiefs moving on and appearing in their 3rd straight Super Bowl. Now, don't get me wrong. if the Bengals don't advance one way or another, it's still an amazing season. But I'm picking the Chiefs to go to their third straight Super Bowl with this win. Now over to the NFC. We had the Los Angeles Rams, who are at home. Whoever wins this game is going to stay here because it's where the Super Bowl is going to be. It's going to be in Los Angeles. For the Niners, they would be staying in their hotel room. And with the Rams, they don't even have to leave home. I mean, they could just be home as it is. And both of these teams, the Rams won in dominating fashion over the Cardinals on the Monday night wildcard game. But that week 3 game against the Buccaneers, they were up by 24 points. And because of fumbles and miscommunications, they were very, very close to blowing that 24-point lead until Stafford threw the ball deep to Cooper Kupp and set up the game-winning field goal and to advance and to host the NFC Championship game. As for the 49ers, they've won both of their last 3 games actually on the road. If you count the final game of the regular season, they actually came back down 17 points on the road to beat the Rams and earn the 6th seed in the playoffs. Then they defeated the Dallas Cowboys on the road, and then primarily due to their special teams, they scored 13 points on special teams and won against the number 1 seeded Green Bay Packers. And here are the 49ers up against their division rival, the Los Angeles Rams. This is a rematch of the 1989 NFC Championship game where the Niners absolutely clinged the clocks off of the Niners, but this time it's in Los Angeles. And, this time it's very different. The circumstances have been over 30 years since the last meeting between these two and the teams in the NFC Championship game. This is also the first game. This is the first conference championship game since 2013 where both opponents are division rivals. But also, like last time, it was the San Francisco 49ers, but it was the Seattle Seahawks instead of the Los Angeles Rams. That was the legendary tip game where Richard Sherman got mad at Michael Crabtree. But now the Niners, in terms of head-to-head matchups, the Niners have really owned the Rams over the last couple of years. They've actually been perfect. I think they've been like 6-0 against them the last 3 years, which is saying a lot because like if there was a 7 seed in 2019, the Rams would have been there. And the Niners didn't even make the playoffs last year. They finished last in a very tough division, but the Rams, even though they made the playoffs, they still lost to the Niners twice. And hell, even this year, I mean, including that final game of the season where they were up 17, they ended up losing to their division rival. And now here they are meeting for the 3rd time this season. I don't know why. Like, the Niners have had a great story, and if they were to advance, it would be a rematch of either one. It would be a rematch against the Chiefs from Super Bowl 54, and it would be a rematch against the Bengals from the 2 meetings they had in the 80s, which is funny in fact. It's the only team the Bengals have ever faced in the Super Bowl, and it has been the 49ers. And if the Niners end up winning and the Bengals end up winning, it would be the third matchup between those two, which would be like a very weird trivia fact. It's not like Cowboys Steelers, like it's Bengals 49ers. It's not on the same level, but still it's 3 times, it's something. But the Rams, if they advance, it would be a new matchup for either one. I mean, if it's against the Bengals, then it would be, completely brand new matchup. Not really much history between the 2 teams other than Andrew Whitworth for the most part. And if it's the Chiefs, it'll be a rematch of, the old Governor's Cup back when they were both Missouri teams as opposed to just one of them. And that classic 2018 Monday night game where it was 54-51, the final score. There was no defense, but who cares? It was one of the most exciting games I've ever seen. Now, but like I said, I had a Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl before the season even started. And, I'm going to stick with that. Mainly because, the Niners have been good and not, but they're against teams that don't exactly have... They've had some issues. They're more flawed teams. Whereas the Rams, they're a team that's set up to win right here, right now. They made the trade for Matthew Stafford during the offseason. They traded for Von Miller. They got Odell Beckham Jr. They have, and who's probably going to be the offensive player of the year in Cooper Kupp. They're firing on all cylinders right now. Their defense is really good. Even though the Niners have been hot recently, at the same time, when it comes to the playoffs, and considering the Rams have been in the playoffs more often than not with the Niners, Both of these two teams have been to the Super Bowl. Both know what it's like to lose a Super Bowl. And here they are trying to go to their second Super Bowl as head coaches. I think considering the quarterback play, and yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo is not that great, but Matthew Stafford has a chance to truly make the Hall of Fame. And I will be honest that I am kind of rooting for him to do that because it would really help he's viewed, would show that, it wasn't really him with the Lions. It was more so the team around him and the organization he was with. And I feel like this time the Rams will get the win at home. Granted, it's not going to be much of a home field advantage, but at the same time, I still think knowing that if they win, they get to host the Super Bowl in their own home stadium. They know this means a lot. They're already playing the game in the future Super Bowl meetup. So I think the Rams will win against the 49ers, and we will see a matchup, a true Hollywood matchup. The hometown Los Angeles Rams, back-to-back years in which the host team is literally in the Super Bowl, and it's against the Chiefs again. And I mean, that 2018 game was one of the best football games I've ever seen. And that was Jared Goff at quarterback. And no offense to Jared Goff, but can you imagine if we had Matthew Stafford there instead? And if D Ford wasn't off sides in 2018, we would have had this matchup sooner. And I really want to see it. And I think this is the most likely matchup. And yeah, I know it seems kind of basic just going with both of the home teams here, knowing how you've had teams like the Bengals and the 49ers, two underdog teams that have really did well to get here. I mean, we could easily see 49ers Bengals part 3. We could even see Bengals Rams, or we could even see Chiefs 49ers part 2. But I'm sticking with my guns here. I'm going with my prediction from the beginning of the season, and I'm still picking the Chiefs to represent the AFC for the third straight year, and I'm picking the Rams to represent the NFC for the second time in 4 seasons with a different quarterback at the helm. And this time, Cooper Kupp is actually going to be playing in it. It's going to be a true Hollywood matchup, and I'm really excited for these games tomorrow. But I want to know what your thoughts. Who do you think is going to win these games? Do you have the Chiefs or the Bengals? And do you have the Rams or the 49ers? But that's just my thoughts. I want to know what you have. Same. It's going to be the 49ers. And against who, Eric? Do you think it's going to be the Chiefs, or do you think it's going to be the Bengals? Like I said, I'm picking the Chiefs and the Rams. I mean, I would have no issue. I'd be more surprised if the Bengals would have won than the 49ers, considering that, the 49ers have beaten the Rams many times. But, in these situations, I think it's when the quarterback play is really going to matter. And, I think just as a team, the Rams are much more hungry for this. I wouldn't be shocked if the Niners make it, but I'm just going with the Rams in this situation. But that's just my thoughts. I want to know what you have to say. Please let me know in the comments below. Like this video if you haven't already. It's the Chiefs. I see the Chiefs and the Rams in the Super Bowl. Rematch of the 2018 Monday night shootouts. But that's just my thoughts, guys. I'll see you later, and hope it's a great game either way. Peace out.